Welcome to Setting Up Styles and Swatches for your print plans book. So I'm going to start by creating a new document. So for your print document, there are a couple of considerations you want to make. So hopefully you will be printing at Jayhawk Ink. And I would suggest, as a really good first step, so you've made your basic decisions, go into Jayhawk Ink and ask them about printing. Choose your type of paper. Choose your type of binding. Do not wait until the last minute. That information is also going to help you with some of your presets. So for example, if you choose like a wire or a plastic binding, you're going to need to make larger margins. Jayhawk Ink, which is in the second floor of the Union, can help you with that, okay? So you should go in, ask them what type of files they want from you, ask them about bleed, margins, type of paper, and cost before you get to this point. So I'm going to make my document based on some generic settings. So I'm going to start on page 1. I am using a portrait setup with no primary facing pages, and I'm going to start on page 1. Now I could set up my column guides, but I'm going to wait to do that. My margins are the default 3 picas, which is a 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. That's going to be excellent if I just want a regular non-coil binding. And I'm not going to worry about bleed or slug. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create, and here's my document. Now, a rule for your guides. If you are going to do a bleed, it can be outside this page, but again, check with Jayhawk Ink. You may have to set those bleeds that I did not set. Text should not go outside this pinkish purpley line. So I'm going to switch over to our Pages panel, and if your InDesign is looking a little different, do me a favor and switch to Essentials, and then you'll want to reset it. That way we're looking at the same thing. So we're going to be using parent pages, aka parent templates, to help me with my design. So I'm going to double click on that A parent, and that's where I'm going to add a lot of content to help me set up my document well. Now, a lot of choices have already been made. We looked at that with our fictional brand example and all of these things. So I'm going to literally copy and paste a lot of this content over. So I've got my color swatches, and I'm going to put those out to the side. I don't need them on my document. And I'm going to copy my headlines. And everything has been styled exactly how I want it. So I've made all the decisions that I need as far as size and leading and font. All of those are made. So let me show you a few settings that I look at when I'm making these final choices. And we're going to start with this body copy down here. So in my Properties panel, I look at the size, I look at the leading, and that's why I have those different text blocks on our previous document. That way I can kind of test things. And I always like to take off hyphenate. I think hyphenation in text, especially if you've got a lot of it, can get a little overwhelming and isn't really visually clean for me. Another thing that is not visually clean is justifying text or centering text. I'm not wild about either of those options either. So I've got everything styled. Now is a great time to save my document. So InDesign does not autosave. We're going to call this our print demo. does not auto-save your content. So I always say save early, save often. So now that I've added these items, it's time to get them into my swatches and into my styles. So let's start with our paragraph styles. So I'm going to come over to my headline and I'm just going to select this text. And notice automatically under text style in my properties, I have what is called a basic paragraph. I'm going to hit this plus mark and I'm going to add headline and then hit return. I'm going to highlight my next, same thing, plus, I'm going to call this my editorial display, hit return. Why do I want to do this? Well, because it's going to let me automatically apply it as I move through my document in one click. So let's experiment with how easy this is. Just drew a text box. I'm going to fill with placeholder text. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to apply my body copy. How easy. So now I have all of my fonts set up as styles, and now I want to add colors to my swatches. So I'm going to bring up my color and swatches panel. And by default, you're going to have a whole bunch of things in here. I would get rid of them. You do not need these. You are going to rely only on your colors. Now, if they didn't come in, what you need to do is select them, new color swatch, and add, and done. So all of those are in there. If you choose to name them, you can just double click them and name them. So now my swatches and these font styles will travel with my document. Now, if for some reason when you brought your colors over here, things were in RGB, not a big deal. All you need to do when you go up to your new color swatch is click down and change it. So you would be changing from RGB to CMYK and hitting add. So now that we've got our basic document set up, our next item is going to be building our parent pages.